Today's video brings us to Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Also short for Oconomowoc is the 5 O's. And this mural's right on the corner of Cross Street and Wisconsin Avenue. Welcome to Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. I actually grew up here. Something very significant about this city, small town located southeastern Wisconsin. 85 years ago today. Well, I mean, in the year 2024, 85 years ago, a very famous movie debuted in this small town. Now, there are a couple of arguments that it could have been elsewhere at the time or somewhere before actually Oconomowoc, but from good sources. And I'm going to show you something on why exactly Oconomowoc, Wisconsin was the very first town to ever show The Wizard of Oz. Now, this mural was not here when I grew up. Late 80s, 90s in Oconomowoc. There's a roundabout further down that relevantly new. A lot of things have changed from when I did spend some of my childhood here. The mural donors is Sherpers, which we're standing right in front of. Growth Point Development, Oconomowoc Tourism Commission, Oconomowoc Area Chamber of Commerce Foundation, and they're thanking everybody. So it's a good spot. I wanted to do the intro right here. Pretty cool. I like seeing the kind of the greetings from, like you see that in all the major cities for vacation, a great postcard. But yeah, very special about this city. A lot of stuff about Oconomowoc, but primarily The Wizard of Oz. Like, talk about one of my favorite childhood movies. Just your classic look for a small town. Got City Hall right to the right of me. Couple of things very interesting. Just looking down this road there were 2 movie theaters, actually directly right across the street from one another. And this building right here used to be the Enterprise, the local newspaper, the Oconomowoc newspaper, where actually, fun fact, my mom and my stepdad met here. And just a quick backstory on The Wizard of Oz. August 25th, 1939, The Wizard of Oz will become one of the best loved movies in history, opening in theaters around the United States. It's based on the 1900 children's novel The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Now, MGM, who made The Wizard of Oz, chose Oconomowoc to be the first to premiere it. But the Kenosha Historical Society says, according to a newspaper article, it's shown in Kenosha first. Now, that may be the case. They might have shown The Wizard of Oz in Kenosha during the same time, maybe during the premiere, but it's been said from a lot of notable people that The Wizard of Oz, in fact, opened in Oconomowoc because MGM wanted to use a small town to see how the movie would perform. Now, off the Turner Classic Movies website still credits the world premiere to Oconomowoc on August 12th, followed by showings in Hollywood August 15th and New York on August 17th. So officially the 25th of August was the premiere of The Wizard of Oz, but August 12th, which about a month away as a recording of this video, today is Saturday, July 6, 2024. We are practically a month away from 85 years ago today. The Wizard of Oz debuted in this very small town. And right below that, the History Channel's The Day in History article on August 12th said The Wizard of Oz received its world premiere in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin on that day in 1939 as well. And the Library of Congress was not immediately available to weigh in. It may not be entirely clear where The Wizard of Oz made its official debut, but it is clear Oconomowoc has a place in this iconic film's history. Now, there were 2 movie theaters in town, and I'm gonna go to the first movie theater, but this movie theater was not the movie theater that debuted The Wizard of Oz, August 12th, 1939. There is something special about this theater though. Now the old theater mall is where I originally thought The Wizard of Oz debuted, but after the fact I found out there was another movie theater basically across the street. The address here is 169. Notice the building at the end of the road. Matching it up to this picture of the Strand, you can see there's the building. So the Strand had a huge marquee sticking off the side of the building, and right here, built in 1920, its grand opening 1921, premiered The Wizard of Oz, August 12th, 1939. But inside, at the other end of the old theater mall, I mean, just think about, like, these were your first malls, like, that long ago, in the 30s, the 40s. They do have The Wizard of Oz here in the window. You can see the Wicked Witch of the West, kind of decked out. There was something that was outside that you could see on that sidewalk, no longer there. So I thought maybe you could see some of the green tape over here. They'd have something inside, and in fact they do. Now 2014 is a full year of events in Oconomowoc. They've already had some things in February, May, and June. July 19th through the 21st, the Oconomowoc Community Theater's inaugural production of The Wizard of Oz. August 14th, Oconomowoc Library hosts speaker Michelle Gibbons on the following Yellow Brick Road, The Life of Judy Garland. And then August 15th, Moonlight Movies hosts The Wizard of Oz in the downtown. Yeah, so the Moonlight Movies, The Wizard of Oz, August 15th, 2024. So if you're interested in exactly, just a couple of days after the 85th anniversary, you can watch it here, like watching it here for the first time. You can see on the bottom, the neighboring bank purchased the building for parking and drive-through banking, raising the former Strand Theater in October of 1969. So the movie theater that debuted The Wizard of Oz in Oconomowoc for the very first time closed in 1969, turned into, well, the property in 1969 turned into this opening right across the street. This is where the Strand was. People 85 years ago watching The Wizard of Oz, you can see the building at the end. You can see it in the picture with that marquee sticking out the Strand, only to sell it for this very bank. There's a drive-through in the back. So yeah, the parking, this was the spot. So 144 East Wisconsin Avenue, we are on Wisconsin Avenue, and the address to the bank is 138. The parking lot would have stood 144. You can see the drive-through just around the back side. So yeah, I'm standing right here, the very spot The Wizard of Oz debuted in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, like right here. It's unbelievable. And you can see right here where the marquee is, the building. Kind of stand in traffic here, but I wanted to get that clip of the building. The marquee would have been right here. Now the Strand would have been right behind me, and directly across the street is the old theater mall, where we went inside to check out the other theater that was in town, and it had the display of The Wizard of Oz with the witch's feet hanging down right across the street from that old theater mall. Is a very unique spot, kind of proving that Oconomowoc was indeed the very first town to debut The Wizard of Oz in 1939. There's the old theater mall. Just beyond that gentleman in the turquoise, where that car just pulled in ahead of him, was where the Strand was. And then the Emerald City mural donors, the Land of Oz. I was gonna say the Land of Oz. Off to see you, Ocon, Lollipop Guild. This whole building painted Emerald City. See the yellow brick road. You can see at the end going to the wizard, Mr. Oz himself. Now, unfortunately, I saw this when we walked out of the old theater mall, just right across the street, and there was a woman in there, and I said, hey, what happened to all the statues? Because they had them all lined up here. They had the Tin Man, they had the Cowardly Lion, they had Dorothy, Toto too. And all that's left is the Scarecrow, and not to mention where this gentleman's walking up back here, the Wicked Witch of the West was back there. So I said, hey, what happened to the statues? They're getting redone. So you can see, I'm sure that it looks like the Scarecrow, it looked pretty new when it just updated him. So unfortunately, this is the only statue that we have over here right now is the Scarecrow. And you know what? The Scarecrow, believe it or not, is my favorite character. And you can see everything leading here that you can follow. The yellow brick road, as they say in the movie, follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. Right around to the corner here, goes all the way out to the parking lot. The Wicked Witch of the West stood right, you know, if I could just match it up with this spot right here, you can just kind of see there was obviously something here, kind of on the border of that yellow brick road. This is where the witch was. So the Wicked Witch, and then you can see where they're getting a group picture over here, had all the characters. It's too bad they're not all here right now, but you wouldn't get this in any town if this wasn't the first place to show the Wizard of Oz. It goes all the way down to the sidewalk over here, overlooking Fowler Lake, and in the back side of all of those businesses, restaurants, shops, downtown Oconomowoc, and then City Hall. And this might actually be Dorothy's house. Now this might be new. I wonder if they're gonna use this as putting the Wicked Witch's feet under here. They might have changed it up. I don't remember seeing this. It could have been here a year ago, and I thought that maybe we could look through the windows. There's no, I sound like the Haunted Mansion, no rooms and no way out. There's no nowhere to look through, but I wonder if they're gonna do some retheming over here and actually have the witch's feet curling up underneath here. And I'm sure at night they have these lights lit up. See everything holding them up over here. Just taking in that mural. It's pretty cool. I mean, they just, again, we can argue, and not because, I'm not gonna be biased, because I spent some of my childhood, younger days in Oconomowoc. My grandfather, this is the story I can go off of, is everything we went over and see him for our own eyes. Uh-oh. So we'll kind of wait for the sirens to go by here. What's downtown Oconomowoc without a little bit of sirens? My grandfather went to the debut of The Wizard of Oz, so I can only trust my grandfather was telling me the truth, that in fact he went the day they opened. So it's always been the story. Maybe that's my connection with The Wizard of Oz. Maybe that's why I'm so fond of the movie. I mean, I've watched it so many times. It's just one of those movies you watch from your childhood. You know, other movies, people feel the same way. Maybe Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Back to the Future. I mean, we have all those movies we used to watch when we were kids. The Oz Plaza, Characters Donors. There's no place like Oconomowoc. Over the Rainbow, Emerald City, Ruby Slippers, Yellow Brick Road. So here's everybody responsible who put the time to develop this. And look at it, it just draws people here. Like, I don't know exactly what year this showed up, kind of heard about it for the first time a year ago. I haven't lived in Oconomowoc for a while, but there's this plaque right around the corner. This commemorates the world premiere of MGM's The Wizard of Oz, shown here in downtown Oconomowoc at the Strand Theater on August 12th, 1939. You can see all the characters that would have appeared right around the corner, along with Oz himself from Kansas. So not the wizard, not with the big green face from the movie, but he stood, I don't think he stood in front of here, but was off to the side greeting everybody. You had a statue of him here too, and then around the corner all the characters, and then the Wicked Witch of the West. So it's a shame they don't have it all here. I was really thinking that we'd get all the characters, but I guess being in the elements, you know, you gotta make them look good. So they're working on them. We'll come back and check them out again, but this is amazing. Like the facts, especially reading it right here. The Strand Theater on August 12th, 1939. My grandpa was at that showing. And you can just look at the vicinity on how close everything was. There was the mural that we did the intro. And you know, when I was working the camera, I didn't want to give away everything at once. But like, it was that close. The old theater mall, right here. You know, City Hall. We have the huge plaque here. Oz himself would have been right here, and he will be. He'll be back again. Call it season 2. And then all the characters with the mural, and maybe Dorothy's house. Now the door looks a little weird because I remember it being a screen door. Not really sure. Maybe I shouldn't have said that was the house. Kind of want to take that back, but yeah, all the characters would have been right here. You would have just followed the yellow brick road, and it would have led right to all of them. Unbelievable. It's a great movie. Part of my childhood, I'm sure part of your childhood. And this very city showed it first. Unbelievable. This is crazy. Right across the street from the old theater mall. Down the street, the Strand Theater that is no more. A bank parking lot. It had one room in there. So, you know, the theaters back then, it was one room. It wasn't like, you know, going now where you get a couple different cinemas in the same building. It was one single theater, and that's where The Wizard of Oz debuted. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. And Scarecrow, I hope the rest of the crew shows up, because you're kind of just sitting here alone. I was hoping to see more characters here. Like, it would have just, might have been the thumbnail. Like, I guess, I don't know if I can use you for just the thumbnail here, but you debuted in this very city, just around the corner. That was the first theater. Did you know the movie was going to be this big? Unreal. In movies then, they never know how they're going to do. You know, you never know. And some of those just turn out to, like Star Wars. Like, it just turns out to be blown expectations. Incredible. I just did the Miller Brewery tour yesterday, and they started 1848, 1886, City Hall was built. So just think about that, like how far back that goes. That's incredible. You ever think that in front of City Hall, they'd have a plaque from one of the most popular movies of all time, and it debuted in this very city. And on the backside of the old theater mall, where they have, I guess it's not green tape, green streamers. I guess ribbon, green ribbon. They do have the auditions. Now, this took place in May, but Lights, Camera, Audition, Oconomowoc Community Theater is casting a wide net for talent in our upcoming production of The Wizard of Oz. We are looking for actors of all backgrounds, ages, and experience, from youth to adult to callbacks. Pretty exciting. Getting the community involved. One of the most popular movies of all time debuted right here in Oconomowoc.